All right, hello and welcome or welcome back to another video. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's great to have you here on this channel. If you're new to me, this video is all about helping you to get to your highest and greatest level in the areas of health, wealth, and true love in this lifetime. And we do that by channeling direct and honest, brutally raw guidance to you direct from your guides and angels and of course from God for the highest possible good and through unconditional love and light. Today we're going to be doing a channeled tarot reading, which means we're going to be using the tarot as a visual representation of all of the messages that I'm receiving from my guides and angels and God that they want you to know. This is going to be direct, specific guidance about your ideal career or your business or your soul mission here in this lifetime. And if you watch all the way to the end, your next actionable steps, okay, when it comes to your career, passion, soul business in this lifetime. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. I am calling in the guides and angels who serve this collective watching at this moment in time. Please show me here now exactly and specifically what it is they need to know when it comes to their ideal soul career or business and or next steps when it comes to that for the highest possible good and through unconditional love and light. And just a little update, I am channeling for the collective watching this video, okay? When I say collective, just means a group of people watching this particular content, okay? So it is specific to you if you are watching and if you decide to stay to watch for this information, okay? Okay. All right, Page of Pentacles. So the first thing I can tell you very clearly, okay, that I'm feeling and that I'm seeing, and I'm just going to channel for a second, is that you are undoubtedly specially here to be of service in some sort of way, okay? Which means that you are not someone who is meant to operate from the level of ego, okay? Or shall we say the consciousness of self, which just basically means, you know, how can I get ahead in the rat race and make more money than everyone else and be superior in my status or my belongings in this lifetime to everyone else? Like, that's not the level you're meant to operate from. Okay, so I want to get that out of the way, make that very clear. A lot of you watching this might, from what I'm feeling, you might be a little confused about that, and you might be saying to yourself, one part of you might be saying, but I need to operate from that level because I'm supposed to, and that's what society wants, and that's what my parents thought I should be, or, you know, mother, father. And the other part of you is like, no, I'm here to be of service. Okay. And so there might be a little bit of a wrestling match if you're watching this between the consciousness of self or the egoic part of you, the part of you that, you know, is like, you know, wanting to be for you, okay, and you alone, um, and the service oriented part of you that wants to allow themselves to be of service for others. Now, the truth is, okay, the real truth is, if you're watching this, that it's not so extreme, right, as to be either one, like fully 100% for the self and ego and getting ahead of everyone else, etc., or accomplishments alone. And it's not fully just for service or you giving up everything that you want for everyone else either. It's somewhere in the middle. Okay, all things, all greatness is the balance between two extremes and extreme modalities or extreme ways of being. So the truth is somewhere in the middle of where your ideal career or soul business is. Okay, could be a career or soul business or whatever it is you feel you want to be in this lifetime. But in order for it to work, the specific guidance for you watching is that it can't be on either end of the spectrum, right? It can't be all the way on this end of I'm just doing this to be better than everyone else and get ahead, and it can't be all the way on the spectrum of I'm just giving up everything that I want and being a martyr for society and doing everything for free and just like sacrificing myself for everyone, right? That it's not either of those extremes. So what that means in practicality is that if you have a business or a job or career, it means that that thing can lead to massive amounts of success or wealth or prosperity or achievement or accomplishment if you want that. And specifically, it can lead to whatever it is your ideal job or career or sole business is, that can lead to as much success or wealth or prosperity as you feel you want in this lifetime. Okay, that's like the number one prerequisite. So just write that down in your journal or make a mental note, is that if that's not checked off, it's not going to work also. Okay, so whatever it is you are doing or being or wanting to do or, thinking about, that has to be that has to be part of it. Is it has to, whatever it is that you want to do has to allow for you to potentially gain as much wealth or prosperity or accomplishment or achievement as you could want, as you do want in this lifetime. Okay, and I say it like that specifically because different people want different levels of success. Okay, maybe one person watching just says, I'm okay with like a few $100,000, in the bank, and I'm okay. I'm just living my life. I don't need to, make millions and millions of dollars. Another person watching this might say, I really want to experience life as a multi-millionaire, maybe a billionaire, right? Whatever you want to do. Okay, so that has to meet that. But the next part of it, it can't just meet that part. It has to meet the second part of it, which is that as you're doing this thing, whatever it is, you genuinely in your heart, okay, we talked about this in the reading yesterday, in your heart, you feel that you are being of service, right, to others through the process of it, right? Like you are genuinely serving your fellow man and woman through whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that it's funny. I had a conversation with my brother about this, and he's now working in car sales, and I won't go too deep into the story to because it's a personal story, but basically we had this conversation about what is service, and my brother was like, we are talking about it, he didn't understand what I meant by service. He's like, what do you mean? Aren't I just serving people by doing this job as a car salesman? And I go, well, what do you feel? Do you feel you as a person from your heart and soul are serving this person for their highest possible good? And that's a very different question, right? That's what I mean. That's what the guides and angels mean by service, is whatever it is you're doing, you are personally connected with it to the degree that you feel you're genuinely helping this person out to the highest degree that you can. You're serving them in a way, right? And so, based on that conversation, right, we kind of sort of came to the conclusion that maybe car sales as a career profession was good for achievement, but wasn't the best for, you know, uh, personally feeling like you're serving someone to the best of your abilities, simply because the industry doesn't allow that, right? It's directly combating that. Um, but let's say, as another example, let's say you make, I don't know, homemade cakes, right? That you put your heart and your soul, and you make the most beautiful, wonderful cake with all organic ingredients and all natural, and less ingredients, and you sell that cake. You go out to a stand that you purchase at some point, and you sell that cake, and people love it, and they come to you. They come to that stand because they really love that cake that you've made, and that it brightens their day. And that's right. That's an example of, like, yeah, I'm so personally connected to that process and that work that I am definitely serving this person, right, in a humble way, but that it's also at the same time allowing me to possibly make as much money as I want or have as much success as I want, because maybe I can expand that cake stand to multiple cake stands and hire some other people to run those cake stands and train them with my process to make cakes. So you see what I'm saying? So this is what God and your guides and angels want you to know at this moment when it comes to direct specific guidance about how to look at or how to think about your ideal soul business or career in this lifetime. And so, okay, the next part I need to tell you here, and this is just, I I want to be clear. This is all channeled, right? The tarot is more of a confirmation or like a reminder of what's being channeled, just in case you don't know how it works. I'm not interpreting the tarot cards literally, because that's not how God works. God works through channeling the messages. The tarot is a representation of that. That's how God wants to use the tarot in this lifetime. Um, but the second thing I need to tell you is that um, um it must make, what was I gonna, oh my gosh, did I lose my train of thought again? I might have lost my train of thought again. um what was I gonna say? I think I was gonna say something. I've been forgetful lately. Oh my gosh, maybe it's this Mercury retrograde. Um, that I think I was gonna say something along the lines of, it can't be. It also has to be a balance between what you are, like what makes logical sense, okay, what makes logical sense and what makes intuitive sense from your body. Okay, so there has to be a balance both between, as we talked about, service and achievement, but also between, like, I don't know if that was what I was going to say. I think it was going to be something along those lines, but maybe I'll remind myself as time goes along. Um, there, it was something important though, so hopefully it'll come back to me here. Okay, let me pause right there. Okay, so um, because the feeling I get right now is that a lot of you are really at a crossroads when it comes to this. Okay, and I think that's kind of what I picked up on something like that, because oftentimes when I'm channeling, I'll really reach out to the collective and really start to feel what people are going through who are watching this video. And especially when I'll say some certain things, or, something triggers someone to think about something, I'll pick up on those emotions, and often it'll interrupt what I'm saying or doing, and I don't even realize it. But for those of you watching, I feel like, yeah, you're really struggling to be sure about what it is you are meant to do and can do. I just remembered. I just remembered what it was that I was going to say. Okay, and it was similar to what I was saying before, because it just reminded me now. Now these next cards just reminded me. Um, what you're here to do is a mixture of what you feel inside. That's what I was gonna say. Thank you, God and guides. What you feel inside is correct for you. Okay, that's number one. But also secondarily, 50-50, what makes logical sense for you to choose, okay, in order to make that goal or that dream a reality. Okay. Meaning that it has to also be balanced in what makes logical sense. Like, I'll give you an example with this the cake stand, right? Like, maybe you're someone who personally hates cakes, right? So if you were to feel into that in your body, you'd be like, I don't really like selling cakes. I think cakes are bad for people, so I don't really want to do that. But logically, you saw this other person make millions of dollars doing that, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that opportunity could make me millions of dollars maybe, and give me my freedom and help me do something that's active, so get some exercise out of it at the very least, right? So that person would be choosing from 100% like a logical, what makes sense standpoint, okay? And that's not what you want to do. You want to do 50% what feels right in your body to create or to manifest in this lifetime. Okay, that's the first part. We start there. And then the other 50% is, now how on a logical level, right? Now, how on a logical level can I actually make that happen in the best possible way? Okay, in the best possible way. So it takes both parts of you. Okay. Now, the issue here, and why we have these cards that literally kind of interrupted the reading in terms of what I was feeling, Nine of Swords, Two of Swords, Eight of Swords here, is because a lot of you have been stuck in just the feelings part. Like, okay, I feel what I really want to do, and I kind of have an idea or a vision of what I want to do, but then you're like, well, how do I do that? Or how does that get made? Or maybe it'll just kind of make itself eventually out of nowhere, right? And no, the truth is that you have to actually then create the process logically. Okay, you have to activate your logical brain and create the process or the flow of how that's going to happen. And the part, here's the part that's been confusing a lot of you if you're watching this reading, okay, mark my words, is that you haven't been sure how to do that. You haven't been sure how to activate your own free will and choice and logical brain to say, I'm deciding, I'm in control of how this is created. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly what my body or my emotions or what God is showing me, that or what I'm feeling through God that I need to do. I can feel a brief or general idea of what it is and then activate my free will and my logical brain to go and create it in the best possible way. And those of you who are watching this, mark my words, that's the secret opening. That's the secret key for you. Okay? Because a lot of you, I'm feeling, right? This is what these cards are representing. Like you have a good idea. You feel what maybe some good ideas or some things that might resonate with your soul for you to go create. But the missing part for you up to this point has been the ability for your brain to go, okay, I'm going to just choose that because that feels right, and then go and choose how I'm going to create that into the world and how I'm going to manifest that into the world. Okay? The other thing is that you have to remember that we are creators. Okay, we are creators. So when we have a vision or when we have an idea or when we even have a plan that we can feel inside, it's then up to us to go out and to create that vision or create that plan, to act forward in that plan. Okay, so a lot of my audience, I'm feeling, has kind of been stuck in that transition of like, okay, I kind of had this idea. It feels right. It feels in resonance, but what are the next steps? Well, the next steps are you choose how you want that plan or that vision to be enacted. And that's actually the fun part. So if you understand, right, if you're watching this video and you understand that that's the part where there are no rules, right? Where it doesn't matter what you do or build or create or how you do that. It's up to you. You have full freedom and sovereignty and authority to decide the process in which you manifest your vision or what you feel is right. That's where life gets really fun, because now you're building it, right? You're actually building it with all of your creative faculties as a human being and as a soul, and there is no rules. Right? It brings me back to there's a story I told a while ago in a reading where I won't tell the whole story again, but those of you who might remember, when I was in second or third grade, I think second grade, and my teacher, Miss Bringus, who had us draw this stick figure with he was supposed to have shorts, and I was supposed to draw inside the lines and color the shorts in, and I ended up making jeans and just making my own design. It brings me back to like that trauma a lot of us have, which is not realizing we are free to decide how we manifest the vision we have inside. And that story is just one example, but I'm sure many of you watching this have a similar story of like how your freedom or your creative faculties were stifled maybe from an early age, from being or creating the vision of life that you want, or the job or career or business that you want. Because we're all trained to be very like linear, right? Logical or linear thinkers. Um, and to just kind of follow the rules, follow instructions. And so we have to actually train and turn back on our creative faculties, right? On a deep level, to be able to have to maximize our potential here in this lifetime. Okay. So here's the real gutted truth here. If you're watching this video, High Priestess here, Three of Wands, you already know. If you're watching this, you already know what you're here to do. Okay? Or I should say, what you can do, okay, out in this lifetime. You already know it. I know if you're watching this, you already know it. It's inside of you, it's in your heart, it's in your soul. You feel it, you want it on some level. And maybe you've been Three of Wands preparing for that for a very long time. It's just those next steps have been a mystery to you or confusing to you, okay? And I'm here to say from God and the Guides that the reason why is because you already have it inside. You are essentially, if you're watching this, you are the High Priestess, right? You have that vision inside, but it's more of the logical side of you that has to be activated to be able to create that, right? And that is more of, I would say, a masculine energy, okay? And a lot of my audience, coincidentally, are females, feminines, right? Not all of you, of course, but it's a very masculine energy to step into, to start to say, all right, how do I build this thing? How do I create this thing, right? And how do I use my free will to choose how that thing goes? Because knowing that there are no rules. And it's really once you realize that there are no rules in what you create and how you create what you're here to create, again, that's when life gets really fun, because it doesn't have to go any certain way. It can go your way, okay? Whatever way you want to bring it. Okay. Two of Wands, Ace of Pentacles with the Devil. This is a very interesting next part. So we're going to flip. We're going to go to... This reading is going to be pretty darn comprehensive in terms of what it covers. So I hope you all are ready, because we're going to go pretty deep in this reading, as we often do. Two of Wands, Ace of Pentacles with the Devil, the Hermit, and the Nine of Pentacles. A lot of you, there's something very deep within you here about wanting to take the next steps, or being able to take the next steps, because of a fear or trauma or deep feeling inside of you that just doing that or making more money or being more successful would just lead to something bad. Okay, something bad happening for you, to you, or in society, generally speaking. Or also, for some of you, also, I just picked up, is that if you're successful, like that money's just gonna, oh, this is a big one for a lot of you. I just felt it. That if you're too successful, that it's just going to be taken away from you. Like it's going to be either stolen, or you're going to lose it somehow, or you're going to end up giving it to, you know, society, the wrong people. It's all going to be taken from you via taxes. Okay, that's another one. Ace of Pentacles to the Devil here. Hermit card with the Nine of Pentacles. And so it's kind of this weird, what I'm picking up, and those of you watching is, and this, again, this is very deep subconscious. So just, feel if it resonates for you, take it if it resonates. But it feels to me like one of the reasons you've been avoiding this is this deep subconscious fear or programming that if you are overly successful or more successful than others, or make a certain amount of money, that there's no point to it, that it would be not worth it. Also is another energy I'm feeling really deep, as I said, not worth it, because it's just going to be taken away from you anyways, or it's not going to count, something along those lines. It's not going to count, it's going to be taken away from you, it's going to be taken for granted, something along those lines here. There's some toxic relationship that you might have developed over the years at some point with your relationship to making money in this world and this society. Okay. And frankly, as a human being, I totally understand. I don't blame you. I think I probably have a bit of that as well. It's called taxes. um, that's one for one. Um, but generally speaking, there is this energy. So what it's created in you potentially is this feeling that there's no point in doing that. That's what I see. That there's no point in even doing any of that, because why would I do that when it's all gonna just be either taken away from me, or there's not going to be a purpose to it, or it's going to go to, again, the wrong people. One of the sad truths here about making a lot of money, or when, if you've made a lot of money in the past, that, taxes are a thing, and you do, to exist in society, you have to pay a large portion of that, up to 20-30% or more, depending on how much you make. And that money is basically going to fund who only who in the hell knows what, okay? But definitely not things that you might approve of for the most part, okay? We'll just leave it there. Um, and that's hard. That's really hard. And I'm gonna see what God has about this, because I can feel that this is something really deep, okay, in this collective when it comes to solving issues around money and the freedom to earn money, right? The freedom to earn as much money. This is the Two of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Where has the freedom in earning as much money as we want gone? Where's the feeling of freedom to earn as much money of whatever we want? Where is that gone to? Where's it going to? And it's a very specific energy. I'm going to channel it because it does exist in this society. Okay. So get ready. This is like a channeled collective money energy message here. There's a very specific dark energy that wants to take your money. Like I clearly see that. It's so crazy, right? That this is, because I didn't expect this layout, right? The devil right in the middle. Um, there's a very dark energy that exists in society that I see. It wants to take your money. Like it's there, it exists to take your money, to separate you from your money. Like there's a dominant energy that is existing in that way. Okay. And its goal, I see, is simply to separate you from your money, so that you don't feel as either free or powerful as you might otherwise be in your fullest sovereignty. Okay. And your fullest sovereignty in this society also has money. Okay. Um, it is just the way things are on this planet right now, okay? That to have your fullest sovereignty requires money. Your fullest sovereignty requires money, okay? And when I say sovereignty, to be very specific, it just basically means your ability to be and act and do freely, completely freely in this society. Okay, that is your sovereignty without being, succumbing to being behind bars, or, you know, being homeless, or not having enough to eat, or where it's a place to live. Like, you need money for that. Um, so in today's society, money is required to be fully sovereign, to be fully free. And a lot of you may be learning that too. I know I've learned that over like the past few years, is like money is definitely required. Okay. But at the same time, it's like it's combating, like that energy itself is combating this other dark energy that I'm feeling that wants to separate you from that, so that you don't feel that you don't have your fullest sovereignty. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm channeling. This energy in society is, okay, that is affecting all of us who exist in this society, right? If you pay taxes, or if you live in the society, then yeah, you're this is affecting you in some way. So what is the answer? What is the solution here? And what does God have to say about it? Okay. Here's what God wants to say. And this is direct from source, okay? This is using all of my abilities right now outside of the tarot, because the cards can only tell you so much, right? So this is now directly channeling source and God for the highest good at this moment of time. What is God saying about this is that um he is saying, as long as you are successful, actually he's saying there's a difference between your success, okay, which is also tied in with your worthiness, and money slash your ability to have or earn or be in your money energy. There's a very big difference there. Okay. Your job, this is direct from God, your job, if you're watching this, is to be successful. Okay. Your job is simply to be or do whatever it is you need to do or be to be successful. Hermit with the 9 of Pentacles, which is just basically in your own energy, doing what it is you're here to do in service for others. That also allows you to, be successful in society, generally speaking, and just doing that to the best of your ability. Okay, that's number one. That's what God is saying. Number two to that, what God is saying is that the money part is separate and not in your control. Okay. Now, I know how that sounds, and I know that sounds crazy, but really, God said to me, you let Him take care of the money. You let God take care of the money. You don't worry about the money. Okay? The money will come. The money will come through God specifically. Whether that comes specifically through your career or your success or somewhere else completely random, maybe you win the lottery or maybe you do something, completely unrelated or something happens, that's up to God. God will provide. Okay? Again, this is just in this reading what he's saying right now. Your only job then is to worry or be concerned about or focus on, I should say, your own success. And you don't worry about the money. You just do the thing. You just do the thing. You be of service. You show up. You be consistent. You act in the way that you feel is benefiting others, and that's what you focus on. Okay. And yes, of course, through that you allow, right? You can allow people to give you money and to, pay for things and so you can live for sure. But you're not meant to be focusing specifically on the money yourself. Like your goal should not be, all right, how do I as an individual absolutely maximize my income or the money that I am here to get? God is saying, no. The way I want you to do it is you just focus on your own success. You focus on your own prosperity, but prosperity in the form of your expression and your own fulfillment and you feeling accomplished within yourself and you feeling like good within yourself that you're making a difference, you're being of service, you're working in a way that is aligned with you, etc. And God will find a way to provide the money. Okay? That's his message in this reading. And the reason why he wants me to say that is because normally, like the way it's meant to work, like if God were just to, say, snap his fingers right now and have it, be perfectly how it's supposed to be, right? How he wants it or how he designed it, is this, we'd kick this out, okay? And we just bring this all together. And now you can see without that, it's like you're just free to make as much money as you want through your success and it flows freely to you and there's no third party, okay? There's no interim, right? Unfortunately, that's not what came out. That's not what the reality is, right? This devil came out in the middle of the spread and it is this dark energy that I just channeled for the collective of what is literally in the middle of your fullest freedom to be as successful as you can and make as much money through that directly as you can. There's an interference there. So the way you have to do it now in order to solve this truth, right? This is not just like a belief or a subconscious like thing you can get over. It's like this is the reality. That's what I want to make very clear. This is existing right now in society that is holding us all back in a way or hostage in a way. But this is where God says, I have to step in with this. So you do your job and be as successful as possible. I will find whatever way I can, God is saying, to provide the income or the money for you just as you're successful. And part of it, to be very clear, is the feeling that you get into or that you receive or that you manifest within yourself by working and being successful. Like we feel naturally accomplished, like we're of service, like we're making a difference. And then that feeling attracts, God says, God is saying that feeling will attract the income in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Because we feel we deserve it. That's why. We genuinely feel we deserve it. You can't just trick yourself, by the way, into thinking, oh yeah, no, I deserve more money. I deserve more money. I deserve more money when you're sitting on the couch eating potato chips, like I've done many times. But okay, all right. So that was pretty crazy. I did not know this reading was going to go in this direction. All right, Knight of Pentacles with the King of Wands. Two of Cups comes out. Okay. Strength card and the Temperance card. Okay. So here's the one of the final messages that of this reading to come out. I don't know how long we're gonna go, but good lord, we've already got 35 minutes. See, this reading's flying. This whole process, okay, this whole process, like for all of this to play out in the way that it's meant to play out for you specifically in embodying your success and then manifesting the income you need through that energetically, which is, by the way, a quantum thing. It's like you're getting into that state, you're believing you're worthy of it, and then you're attracting that income through however God wants to provide it, whether it's through that specifically or not, by the way. It could come, and by the way, just to quickly hit on that, that income, this is what God is saying, could come through anything. Let's say you are the cake stand owner that we talked about, and you're doing your thing, and maybe you're just breaking even with the sales, but hey, you feel successful, worthy, or serving people and all that. And and God might say, you know what, I'm gonna give you a part-time job opportunity that pays double what you're making right now, that takes like an hour a week, right? That is going to fulfill all of your income needs and expand to the level that you eventually want it to be, right? So it could literally come through anything. Like that's why God is saying in this reading, if you're watching, be open. Be open to however your income wants to come in, even if it's separate from what you're doing that makes you feel good and successful, and then just focus on being successful and doing whatever it is you're here to do to the best of your ability. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if that doesn't make sense, and I'll look to answer them for you. Knight of Pentacles with the King of Wands, Two of Cups, Strength with the Temperance card. So this is going to take a little while to kind of for you to figure this out, okay? Because there's a lot of moving pieces here that we covered in this reading, so you might want to watch it back a couple times as well. But the one piece to note is that as you move forward in whatever field or career or way or business that makes you feel like you are genuinely serving people, but that also allows the opportunity for income, you're going to manifest that your way. And that, for some reason, God is saying that's going to like supersede this energy, this dark energy, this devil energy, whatever that is in society. It's going to like find a way through it, right? So that it comes direct to you, or it's more than enough to provide for everything that you've ever wanted. So that's really cool. That's really exciting. I've never channeled anything like that before. Knight of Pentacles with the King of Wands, Two of Cups, Strength, and the Temperance card is it's there's a couple things coming up here. So it's number one, it's not to get too hung up on your old identity. Okay, your old identity. There's an energy here of wanting to evolve to a brand new version of yourself that is truly free. Okay, that is truly free to do what it is you're here to do, to be what it is you're here to do. Okay. But a lot of you might have, in a way, committed to an older version of, or older identity, or even former identity of who you are, of yourself. Okay. That is going to take some time to unwind. That's this Knight of Pentacles, King of Wands, Two of Cups, Strength with a Temperance card, is that process. And that it's almost like it's a decommitment, right? Like uncommitting from a specific version of who you were or who you are is going to take time to unwind so that you can just fully, freely pursue exactly what it is that you're here to do, that provides you the most feelings of success and abundance and fulfillment. Okay. And thank you. So they just filled in the gap on that, and they basically just said the version of you that you might have to work on decommitting from is the version of you that was focused on money or success specifically, or thinking that you needed to focus on that first. Thank you. See, I told you the tarot can't tell you everything. So it's they're guiding the story. But what they just told me is that that's the decoupling we're talking about here. Is a lot of you watching this, a former version of yourself or a younger version of yourself, or even parts of you now might have this thought that you needed to be committed to or focused mostly on things that will directly provide income. And if it doesn't do that, then it's not worthy of your time or energy. Okay. That's this Knight of Pentacles, King of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, where this is someone, an aspect of someone who says that is the main focus. If it doesn't do that, it's not worthy, right, of my time or energy. It has to provide that. And I know, I believe me, I understand. Okay. Because I'm a human being too, and with a business, and I understand, believe me, life is expensive. But what God is saying is that he wants us all to decouple from that mindset and be willing to just pursue the thing that makes you feel successful, worthy, and of service authentically, and then to let him provide the rest. Okay. Now, that itself is a very scary thing. That's a very big leap. Okay. And of course, I want to say this just as a disclaimer and just as a real disclaimer, like, don't be reckless. Don't be, you know, don't be stupid. Okay. Don't be an idiot. Don't like risk everything and not pay attention to money at all. And just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are leaps of faith, but then there are smart and practical leaps of faith you can do as well. And what I'm talking about here should only be done when you feel you are stable. Okay, you feel you have stability, you have enough money to last you a while to be able to eat and feed your family and feed yourself and your dog. Right, my dog's over there sleeping, and everything else. And then, but what God is saying in this reading is that it's your focus, right? So once you have those things, you have the bare necessities. It's you would take your focus from just focusing on more of that, or having it to, having something make money, specifically, or provide through that, to what am I here to be of service of, that can allow some money but may not be the only thing that I'm getting from that, if that makes sense. That's the shift there. Okay. And of course, like, whatever it is we're talking about here, you're, whatever it is that you feel you're authentically serving people, as we talked about before, that also is going to allow money in as well. Okay. But it's just that even if it's not as much money as you would want or would hope, or might need in order to be wealthy, right away, that's not the main focus. Okay. But it is enough. It should be, whatever this is for you, should be enough to at least continue and sustain yourself indefinitely. Okay. So if it's something where you're just like basically volunteering your time, that's not what we're talking about here. Okay. We are still talking about, just to be very clear with you all, we are still talking about what we were saying before, which is the 50%, what you feel inside of your heart, and then what, logically, like what you would, how you could create that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that's what God is saying, is that if you're watching this, it might be difficult, and you might need some time to kind of uncouple from the mindset or the relationship that you had with money or business or your way of being, etc., because you might have, again, been primarily focused on that, as we probably, most of us are, from a young age. And God is saying, no, just focus on the success, let me provide, and keep the door open. Keep the door open. And even if whatever you're doing that you feel good about, as long as that just provides the minimum for you to be, and, be okay, and be sustaining yourself, God will provide the rest. Okay. And remember, money is decoupled here from this whole thing, because of this devil energy. That's the channeled message in this reading. It's very, very interesting. I did not expect that. Nor should I, as a professional channeler. It always amazes me how I can go into these videos with no plan, no script, just purely relying on them, and they always come through. Okay. Magician with the Wheel of Fortune with the Lovers. This is your plan. If you're in a love situation, okay, and a lot of you I know who watch are, and you don't have to be, right? This is not, whether you are or not is pretty, it's not directly relevant to this reading, but if you are in a love situation and you've watched my other readings, your person reading, things like that, this is your path, okay? This is your path to happen. This is how you manifest your lover, okay, in this life. This is how you manifest your person. Lovers with the Wheel of Fortune, magician. There's no other way. Okay, there's no other way for me to interpret this. And love finds a way into my readings pretty much always. So those of you who are in a love situation, right? This is how you this is quite literally directly how you manifest your person. If you're wondering, from all the readings I've done this week so far, it's like, okay, well, now what? This is the now what. Okay, magician with the Wheel of Fortune with the lovers is, that's all you have to do. Is part of God's plan for you is that you move forward in your service and your authentic expression and your fulfillment and the thing that makes you feel worthy and successful inside. You allow God to provide for you in whatever way he's going to provide for you directly, okay? And that, again, could be a variety of ways. And then somehow through all of that, that is going to manifest love in your life, okay? Like true love. And I promise you, what's interesting about this is it's not the money. It's not the money specifically. That's the crazy thing, right? It's not the money that you need in order to manifest love. It's the service. It's the service. It's the the feelings of success, individual success, and individual prosperity. Like what you're doing on a daily basis is contributing to a greater good, and you're of service to that. It is totally separate. That is totally separate and decoupled from money in this message. It's just crazy. It's blowing my mind right now. Okay. Nothing. That's what God is saying. That has nothing to do with money. Okay. So if you thought that you needed money in order to manifest true love, that is absolutely not the case, to be very crystal clear with all of you watching. Okay. It is nothing to do with money, and it's everything to do with your feeling of individual service or contribution or success. Okay. Which, again, God will allow God to provide for you however he's going to provide for you in this lifetime. And that is what God is telling me directly to tell you. This is how you manifest your true love situation in this lifetime. Okay, your person in this lifetime. Okay. Ace of Wands, Four of Swords, and Ten of Pentacles. So a lot of you will watch this, and there will be a healing. Yeah, yes. There will be a healing, a massive healing, a big spark, a big trigger for you when it comes to your real, authentic passion of service in life. Because a lot of you are going to watch this, and it might take, just mark my words, it might take some time to digest because we went through a lot today, and you might have to watch back parts of it. But a lot of you are going to watch this, and you're going to be like, you're going to go through this death moment, this healing, when it comes to your true, authentic way of being or passion and service in this lifetime. Ace of Wands here. Okay, because it's not going to be, that's going to be very different from maybe what you were focused on being, doing, or accomplishing before, which is, again, the focus on money first, or having something that provides first, etc. Okay, as the main factor of what you're pursuing or doing or being. So a lot of you are going to be decoupled from that, and you're going to really feel and embrace, okay, if God is saying he's going to provide for me so long as I do what makes me feel like I'm of service and I feel successful inside, and I don't have to worry about finding a way to actually manifest the money, well, now what do I do? And that's where this Ace of Wands comes in really big time, where it's like, that's the Ace of Wands. Okay, that's your Ace of Wands moment. If you're watching this and you're listening, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, okay, let's do, yes, okay, I guess I'll do that, you know, and it's going to be fantastic. So embrace it. Whatever that death moment is for you, dear viewer, just embrace that, okay? And tell yourself that yes, that's, if you believe that I've channeled God and the guides and angels, and, I'm who I say I am, a professional channeler of God and the angels, this message is for you. This is what will lead to your authentic passion and love literally and figuratively. Okay, the life that you love, the things that you love, the career that you love, and the person that you love in this lifetime. All of it will lead to that. Okay, but it starts by the reason why this is blocked or was blocked for you, including love. If love has been blocked from you, and again, this isn't a love specific reading, but if love has been blocked from you, the reason why is because you and your passion and what you're here to do and what lights you up and how you're here to be of service has been blocked. And God is saying it was not ever about the money, okay? It's about the passion inside that you feel for what you are and what you do. And that is the reason why, if love has been blocked from you, that's the reason. Because you haven't stepped into that role of true passion and true service for what you do and allowed God to provide for you in the ways that He wants to provide for you. Okay? Whoo! Holy crap. I did not know we were going to go to these places. But, anyways, you can see um, that's what leads to your union. Okay, and not just a union, but a sustainable, forever practical union and love union or reunion in this lifetime. Okay, this is it. This is everything we just described. Is it? That is what will lead to that. Because God is saying, if you are stepped into your true service and your true passion and your true love, meaning your self-love of what you love to do in this lifetime, yes, that energy, I promise you, manifests and creates the ideal circumstances for a long-term relationship with your person in this lifetime. Okay? And again, it has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with it at all. It's the energy. It's the energy of you being in that energy. And that is what allows and manifests your dream relationship and allows God also to bring through everything you and your future person, wife or husband, want in this lifetime as well. But it starts from you. It starts with you decoupling from this, right? Moving away from just looking to have money or whatever, or it being about the money, and stepping into that true passion and service of what you're here to really do and how you really feel good and feel of service, and then go from there. Okay. Okay, that is it for today's message, today's reading. I hope it was helpful. We went 52 minutes long. I loved this reading. This was so much fun. You know what's ironic about this is these readings don't make much money. So I'm right there with you all. Okay. There's no extended for this reading. Okay, just is what it is, and I'm just gonna trust that as long as I feel I'm going to be a leading example for you all. As long as I feel like I'm contributing to the world and of service and doing what I'm here to do, God will find a way to provide. Okay, and I know He will. I have faith, but I want to I want to share that with you all because um, I'm right there with you. Okay, I'm right there with you. I'm not just speaking at you or channeling at you or telling you what to do. I'm as a true channeler, the message is often always for me as well. Okay, I just don't tell you guys and gals that, like, oh yeah, this is also specifically for the human Brandon. Um, very much is, and so I'm blessed and honored beyond belief to be able to have the opportunity to channel this for all of us in this collective. I do hope it is helpful for all of you, and let's go see together what we're here to do and be of service in and about. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.